All right, what's up, dudes?
What is going on? I gotta get all my notes. Where are my damn notes?
Well, welcome in everyone to week 1, episode 1 of Bankroll Blitz here with Bobby Stanley and Josh Lander. I'm Brad Thomas. We have a special guest today, Slop, the man himself, Slopstradamus, the guy who provides all of the best gambling philosophies in terms of staying positive and attacking every single day. Fellas, before we bring him in, I just want to thank you guys for kicking off another season of this. This is absolutely phenomenal to talk NFL with you guys. I missed last year. I was sad. Bobby, how are things going? Anything that you're super excited about for this entire NFL season?
I just love the early weeks. I love the early weeks where the books are still weak. The lines are weak. Everybody's making assumptions with new head coaches, new offensive coordinators, players in new situations, players in new roles. This is the time to attack. And a lot of people like to go light in the beginning, especially like NBA, I go light. NFL is the exact opposite. There's no working in grace period. It's 100 miles an hour from the jump. So I love the start of the season.
What about you, Josh, man? Anything long-term you're looking at, or are you like Bobby and you go gung-ho week 1, or you kind of scale it back a little bit?
I mean, I went gung-ho Thursday night, I'm be honest with you. So I'm already ready to go. I felt good about the Lions enough to get them even before the Kelsey news came out, to be honest, at 6.5. So I kind of came out pretty hard already, I would say. Already have a couple of teasers.
Came out swinging.
Yeah, I've been ready to go. And then honestly, though, my NBA is my jam too. So when that starts, we'll have to start getting that bankroll management in check for sure.
Dude, I went like okay hard. Like I had my 2 regular plays last night, and then I did 1 alt line, which if Jahmyr Gibbs would have got the ball running, he would have hit his alt rushing easy. He was averaging 6 yards per carry, but I digress. Let's bring in Slop, the man, the legend, the bowling master. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. I am so fired up that it's NFL season. I don't hate baseball or anything, but this is just better.
Way better.
I mean,
it feels right, you know. Like,
right. Like, what do you want me? You know what I mean? Like, what do you want us to do?
After my first year
of baseball all summer, but it's time for football.
After my first year of full-time handicapping baseball, when Wednesday rolled around, I felt so glad to not place another baseball bet for the rest of the week.
Yeah, it's a grind. I don't know how you guys do it. God bless you if you get that baseball.
Home run props, like you gotta find different ways, you know what I'm saying, to do it. You can't just straight up go games. Like I don't even know who won the games or not. Like I'll bet a strikeout prop and then I just got out. You don't even after that. Like as soon as it's over.
100%.
You don't care. So for those listening, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go round robin, and we'll just give our 3 best plays of the week, and then we'll build a little touchdown parlay at the end of the show. So I will kick things off with my first play. I'm going Garrett Wilson. I know it doesn't start until Monday, but I'm going Garrett Wilson over 5.5 receptions here. Man, Garrett Wilson averaged, I don't want to go receptions because he didn't have the best quarterback play last year, but he averaged 8.5 targets per game with some pretty bad quarterbacks. I know the weather's supposed to be poor. It's going to be raining, but I think Garrett Wilson's the kind of guy that you target him even in those intermediate to short routes, those rain routes, I like to call them, just to get the chains moving. He's a guy you can trust. And with Aaron Rodgers, when he had that Devontae Adams connection, it was 12, 15 targets per game. That's something that I think that we can kind of see moving on week in and week out. And then anything with weather in the Northeast, I don't want to trust until it comes. So I'm not going to change my number on that too much. I feel if we had clear weather, it would have probably been somewhere around the, 7.5, whatever, Amon-Ra St. Brown's, kind of similar to his. Bobby, what's your first play?
So I know I'm the prop guy. I actually came today with some sides. I get my props out all on Twitter. I became a side guy. My first play, Browns +2. Now listen to this trend that I picked up from Todd Furman of CBS Sports. Since 2012, home divisional underdogs in week 1, 15-2-1 against the spread. That's 88%. Wow. 10-6-2 straight up, 61%. So thank you, Todd Furman, for giving me that gem. I saw the Burrow press conferences this week. He said, I'm probably going to play. Do I think he plays? Yes, but I don't like that lack of confidence that, I'm going to suit up. He's going against arguably the best pass rush duo in the league in Za'Darius Thomas and Myles Garrett. He's 1-5 his career against the Cleveland Browns, and I think the Browns are a surprise team this year. Better on the offensive and defensive line. I love the weapons. I love Chubb. I love Cooper. We talked about Elijah Moore. I think this guy is going to be the Deebo Samuel of this offense and really get his career off the ground. So the weapons are there on both sides of the ball. Home divisional dog. Give me the Browns +2. And if you want to sprinkle a little money line, I don't blame you.
Let me put you on the spot real quick. Would you take Joe Burrow under 9.5 rushing yards? Imagining that he doesn't want to run too much, doesn't want to get banged up coming off the injury.
I would not, and because of that pass rush, if you're getting that edge pressure, you're going to step up in the pocket, and if nothing's there, he's going to tuck it and run, get out of bounds. He does a pretty good job of not getting hurt. If they were going against a team with a weaker pass rush, probably not. It would just be a line I stay away from in general.
Okay, let me kick it over to you, Josh. What's your first play for the show?
Yeah, I'm by the way, just echoing Bobby there. Like, I just started to hate those like lower than 10-yard rushing props for QBs for stuff like that. Like, I was starting to mess with Tom Brady's like half a yard rushing prop a couple of years ago and was like, what am I doing? That's disgusting. But my favorite play of the day, I'm going to give a prop here, and I'm going to go under with Mac Jones at 227.5. I had to dumb it down. I got it at 230.5 yesterday, but it's still playable at the 227.5 number there. Just not a number that I would feel comfortable taking him and a lot of quarterbacks against this Philadelphia Eagles defense that allowed like 179 yards passing last year. They did not get worse. They probably got better along the defensive line at this point with Jalen Carter looking nice. So I don't think he's liable to be able to do that. I understand Bill O'Brien's there, and now there's like competence in the offensive coordinator's position, but still not feeling like that's going to be enough, especially when I think the entire game plan is like ground and pound at this point. With all the running backs that they have, and the fact that the Zeke Elliott one was really nice to get someone inside the 20s to be able to rush on top of Ramondre. Like, I think that's their go-to strategy in this game. He's not even gonna get that many pass attempts. So,
okay, I could dig that. I'm actually kind of leaning and laying the points with the Eagles. I don't know if that's because I love Jalen Hurts or I like pain. Fading Bill Belichick week 1 at home. Slop, what's your first play?
I'm going to go Juwan Johnson, 40-plus receiving yards, and that is +172 at FanDuel right now. Here's the thing. He might be good. Like, we don't know that he's not good. Like, he kind of broke out a little bit last year, but he was converted wide receiver, so that's nice. 40-plus yards, though, 8 different times last year. And he played with quarterbacks worse than you, Brad. Like, they were. You would have propped him up more. He's got Carr now, which is nice. Carr propped up Darren Waller for years. I mean, turns more tight ends into wide receivers than anybody I know. Let's go. +172. Come on, like 40 yards. Is that 4 catches?
Yeah. I'm gonna put a little teaser here. I know someone's interested in him scoring a touchdown. What do you think about his touchdown price? I think it's somewhere like +330.
Yeah, I think he scored like 1,000 touchdowns last year, close to it. Juwan Johnson, like when you look at Juwan Johnson, you're like, oh yeah, nothing. Like you see, like wow, like I can't remember how many it was, but I remember the number jumped off to me. It's like, Jesus, really? But I mean,
he had 7 last year.
Yeah,
and I think if you want to bet Juwan Johnson to score a touchdown, you got to pay Kenny from the Moonshot a couple bucks because I think he owns copyright on Juwan Johnson.
Oh really?
He crushed. He had He hit 2 touchdowns. It was impressive to
Exactly.
watch. So something to throw out.
That guy's filthy. And also too, the Titans, they have a defense, right? Don't get me wrong, they have a good defense. I was saying that, but they're a pass funnel. I mean, they stopped the run. Guess how many teams gave up more receiving yards to tight ends last year?
Oh, like 2?
0. Nobody gave up more receiving yards to tight ends. Yep. So you're looking to move the ball on the Titans. You're probably not doing it on the ground. Maybe you slip in, Juwan Johnson.
I like that.
40 yards though. I mean, you can't get 40 yards.
No, you can't get 40 yards. I'm probably going to take Olave over. I think it's at 63.5 now.
I like him too.
Yeah, I think he has a massive game. He's like one of those guys who has like ladder potential. And I don't like laddering guys with high totals, but so I just go jump all the rungs and go straight to 100.
Nice. I like it.
I'm going to go with my next play. Seattle. I'm going to do a parlay. Seattle money line and Ravens -3.5. I'm just going to fade the Rams until the Rams give me a reason not to. Seattle beat them twice last year. I know neither game, sorry, Bobby, was with Stafford here, but this is going to be a tough year for the Seahawks secondary, not looking good. They're going to have to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback to kind of help the back in there. And the wide receiver core is a bunch of guys like us four on this screen right here. Guys who I don't rate very highly. I'm sure Van Jefferson, Tutu Atwell, guys like that can pop off. But I don't like it here. And then on the other side of the ball, we have Seattle, who obviously has home field advantages, one of the best home field advantages in the NFL. Geno Smith, another year. I did get a little worried about Kenneth Walker on the injury report, but I do rate Charbonnet pretty highly. And there's a reason you go out and you spend that draft capital to get a guy like Charbonnet. That's because you want to get him touches. And hey, he might get more touches than he was anticipating if Walker's not 100% to go. On the other side of that, Ravens, I'm going to talk about this game in a little more depth later when I ask you guys which team you guys would like to fade in this show. But the Ravens are playing against the Texans. The Texans were dead last in almost every single statistical category in terms of advanced analytics. They were dead last in EPA per pass. They were not dead last in EPA per rush. That was the only metric. But excuse me, they were dead last in almost every single statistic defensively and offensively in advanced analytics, which a lot of people don't like EPA per pass, because if you talk about last night and you talk about Kadarius Toney, if you look at his EPA numbers, his extra points added, he actually, anytime he touched the ball, the other team scored, which obviously happened in one of the plays where they scored a touchdown on the on his little bobble there. But I use it a lot heavily when you want to rate teams on just who has the most talent and who is going to be the most effective. Rookie quarterbacks in their first game in the last 20 years are 15-14 against the spread. But in 2021, we didn't have any last year. They were 0-3 against the spread in their first one. The number's at 9. I bought it down a little bit. I need another side here. Bobby, give me your next favorite side.
I'm taking the Packers, and I'm taking the points, and 70% of the money is on the Chicago Bears in week 1. Packers, they're going to win in the trenches. They have a better coach. They have a better run game. I think it's going to set up 3rd and short for Jordan Love, where he can be successful in that. I'm not buying the Bears hype. Chicago last year, 31st overall in opponent rush yards per game, 31st overall in opponent yards per play. They finished the season dead last in both of those metrics over the last 3. They didn't finish strong. And then they had DJ Moore, and that's fine because they have Jair Alexander on the other side. I think this Packers team is going to be sneaky competitive, and you're giving me points in a game that I felt should have been a pick 'em at the very least. So I'm just not buying the hype. I love what Aaron Jones, we'll talk about him a little bit later in the show, had great games against Chicago throughout his entire career. Give me the Packers plus 1.5, and similar to the Browns, a little bit on that money line.
I'm actually glad someone's taking the Packers here. I've seen a lot of love for the Bears. Like, I know Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, but like, come on. Like, I felt like when he was playing in Green Bay that last year, he was just kind of like checked out a lot. Now they have a Jordan Love, who another team who invested a lot of draft capital in the guy. Okay, so another Ravens play from Josh. Go ahead and lay it on us.
I just want to say too, I'm taking the Packers also, and I feel like I've been taking like those weird pills where it's like I feel crazy because I'm like, am I the only one watching this? And then I just look back at week 1 and I'm like, well, nobody really knows how to cap this stuff, right? At this point, like we all think we know based on last year or some changes that were made or whatever. But in reality, like I think it's just going to be one of those lines we look back on and go, wow, the Bears won 4 or 5 games and the Packers won like 8 or 9, and it was just not even close from the jump. So I'm completely with that. But yeah, for my next pick here, talking about the Ravens once again, as you mentioned there, Brad. So I'm going to start with the Lamar Jackson one. Spoiler alert, I like a couple of different Ravens, but I think 1.5 touchdowns for Lamar over that plus 105. Once again, I know if Will Hill was here, he'd get pissed at me, but like I also hit it at plus 125. He hates when I talk about stale lines, but I'm still down with it at plus 105. The 1.5 in an offense at this point where I think we expect him to be throwing at least 30, 32, 33 times in this game for Lamar from the sounds of the offense. So I'm down to have them. I think they'll continue to play fast. Like they definitely played at the third fastest pace last year, and they've been playing at a fast pace. I know it was more of a run game that was, it was oriented around that. And I think we'll see Lamar passing a lot, but I still think they move at a similar speed with that spread offense and try to keep the defense off their toes, keep the wrong guys on the field on defense for, when they're going at that speed. So for him to get the 1.5 TDs, I think you're probably good to get Mark Andrews in there as well. He'll probably be catching one of those, I would imagine, at least. So I think there's going to be a good amount of eating going on in Baltimore for those guys.
Todd Monken, one of NFL record 16 new offensive coordinators this season. So I do think you're going to see Lamar Jackson lengthen his career and stay in the pocket a little bit more than usual. And they finally got some weapons around him besides Mark Andrews. Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham Jr., Rashad Bateman's coming back. It will do him well to not be running and scrambling every single down with planned runs. Let's see if we can do slinging it. And we know he can. He doesn't get enough credit for it.
I can't wait to see the receivers numbers in that game. I'm checking the screen now. We've got Texans receivers, but we don't have Ravens receivers at FanDuel, but those are ladders because
yes,
numbers are based on offense that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's over. So we're gonna get Bateman like way too low, and then
way too low.
You could probably take, if you want to do either one of those two guys is probably going 80 plus, and their numbers are gonna be like 40. So you could go that route. There's so many different ways you could go with that. Andrews is probably gonna go. I can't wait to see that.
Likely's going to get some time too. Like it's going to be a fun game. I'm excited for that offense. I went really heavy invested in Lamar Jackson this year in fantasy. I mean,
and real quick before we go too far, like well, I'll talk about it when we talk about some running back stuff for them because I wanted to ask a question about that. But either way, I like all the passing stuff. That's where we're at. Lamar is on a couple of teams as well for me, Brad. So I'm with you.
All right, Slop, give me your next play, the one that has 0% chance of losing.
Ooh, they all do. You got to be No, I'm going to go Gerald Everett, 40 plus receiving yards at FanDuel. This is a little trick, a little old school trick. Everybody's got him at least 32.5 receiving yards. Well, FanDuel only has him at 30.5. One of the DFS sites have him at 34.5. So I think this number is going to go up. So what you do is you just take him 40 plus, and I'll get you the number right here. I think it's like plus 148 right now.
Okay.
It's not going to exist at some point. So, yeah, it's plus 148. That offense is suited for him big time. Again, we're talking about another low number, so which is very attainable. But it's got the I guess the Dalton Schultz role, but they're going to be spreading the field, looking to gain yards, score points. I mean, they're just going to be a different offense. It's not going to look like them. Herbert was hurt pretty much all last year. Had like a broken everything. So I don't think he's broken now. Those dump offs to Eckler probably not going to happen the same way. I don't know. Everett just feels like 40 plus at plus 148. It's like, thank you. Like, again, Sunday, that's not going to exist. Watch.
No, that's
– I'm at like 35, 36.5. And, I mean, you'll still be able to get the 40 plus. Don't get me wrong. But, bro, not
those odds.
148? Like, come on.
And plus, you're not going to get Gerald Everett at that when Keenan Allen and or Mikey Williams are hurt at some point, inevitably, at this point in the season. Yeah. And then Gerald Everett's at, he's more at like 51.5 yards at that point, right?
Let me ask you, what number would you set for Quentin Johnston?
I don't know. I don't know what his role is. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially, all right, so look at what happened last night with those rookies that came on the field for Kansas City. well, the one. Who was it? Rice?
Yeah.
Yeah, so him, the kid for the Lions. You know what I
Sam
mean? Like,
Laporta, yeah.
they do. It's just you don't know what that role is week 1. Does that make sense? So,
yeah.
Kind of got to watch out with rookies. They can come out and score, 2 touchdowns and go for 110. You don't know that. But it's more likely than not he gets eased in.
I would agree with that too, because if I'm looking at wide receiver rookies, it's different than running back rookies. I have no problem backing like Bijan, and Gibbs looked awesome last night. He slipped a couple times. He had a couple rookie things, but he's going to be awesome, right, as a runner. Yeah. But then, you talk about route running and timing with a quarterback. That's a little bit different than just getting the ball, running behind the tackles, and being super athletic. So, I'm not really ready to back very many wide receiver rookies at all this year, to be honest.
I'll do it later.
Yeah.
Week 7, week 8, like it's guys are hurt, stuff like that. But not week 1. No way.
Wide receiver rookies don't normally pop either. Like there is a definite adjustment. It's literally like you have your Justin Jeffersons, your Jamar Chases, and then everybody else. Your Odell Beckham.
So, and also too, they're not as good as they are now. You know what I'm trying to say? Even with those 2 that you just mentioned, I mean, they were good. But for rookies type good. You know what I'm saying? They were good receivers.
They're good rookies. Good rookies.
And the same thing with tight end. Like the last time a tight end was nasty as a rookie was like Jeremy Shockey. You're not going to be a good receiving tight end as a rookie usually. So
no, that's totally fair.
The list is Mike Ditka and Rob Gronkowski. That's the list. Yeah. Those are the only offensive rookie of the years as tight ends. Mike Ditka and Rob Gronkowski. It is a rarity that you see a successful rookie tight end. But Laporta played well last night. So
he played well, hit his total. I thought 25.5 was too low, but as I said on the Gold Boy show, that's just a number that even if you think it's too low, you have to wait and see because you don't know what his role is going to be. He could have been in there for 10% of the snaps. We would have never known unless we had insight into the building. Let me go to my next play because I'm talking about a rookie. But all off season, I said if they hang this number less than 50, I'm taking it. That's Anthony Richardson over 45.5 rushing yards. I was excited to play this. Very excited to get under 50. Shane Steichen goes over to Indianapolis, and just pulling the numbers from the Shane Steichen offense in Philly, they averaged 5 designed QB runs per play, 3 QB sneaks per game, and then if you want to mix in Jalen Hurts coverage breakdowns, was about 4 per game. So they're running the ball about 12 times per game in that offense. Now you have Anthony Richardson, who's definitely, I wouldn't say a run-first quarterback, but he has legit speed, 4.32 speed. So he'll be able to get chunk plays when he wants. And I also think that having Jonathan Taylor out of the game makes you more likely to run design quarterback runs when you need to pick up 3 and 4 yards at a time. I would have taken his carries over 7.5, probably is like what the standard they probably would have made him. I didn't get a line on that yet, and I wanted to get a line out for you guys here. I like Anthony Richardson. This is probably the last time we see a line like this. I'll probably start at 50. He's gonna chuck it. He's gonna be trucking and running the ball. He's just too fast and too big not to take this line.
I don't think he can throw the ball well.
No, he can't.
So that's what you have going for you too. Like he's got like a bazooka, but it also has the accuracy of a bazooka. It's going out there. It's gonna be there.
Someone's gonna be there.
Yeah, the ball's gonna get there. It's just, at least you don't know what's gonna be. But that guy is sorry, I'm trying to charge him.
No, you're good.
That guy is an athletic, just freak. So,
he's built like Josh Allen. He's a brick shit house. He's fast as hell. He's not going to be a hard transition physically for him to the NFL, but we're going to see him. I think
somebody took him in the Thunderdome this morning. I can't remember who. Did you guys see it? Somebody took him. I can't remember who.
I didn't see it yet.
It was somebody, and I was like, damn, man, why didn't I take that? I think he parlayed it with it was Eli. He parlayed it with a touchdown.
Sounds about right. I was talking to Eli about him a lot.
I forgot. Yeah, that's an Eli pick, definitely.
Yeah, we're talking about the Colts. Yeah,
but yeah, it was a touchdown in the 45 yards. I was like, wow, man, like I should have picked that. That feels so right.
Yeah. Me and Eli did the Colts breakdown and a video for the Colts preseason breakdown, and I told him, I was like, dude, just wait. I know you're excited. Just wait. He's gonna have some games where he rushes for 100 yards. Just because he has legitimate speed. And when you stink as a quarterback, no offense to him, like you're more likely to take off and run than try to fit into a tight window.
That's what I was trying to get at. Like, with his,
Yeah.
he's got a cannon. He knows, though, like, I might not be able to complete this, but, like, I can run through that guy over there. You know what I mean? So, like,
exactly.
That's happening. They're going to be losing and needing to throw for sure in this game. Like, I actually didn't put Jacksonville down, but I do like them, even with the 3.5 that they're giving on the road there. So yeah, he's gonna be in a position where he's like, dang, I already threw 2 interceptions. It's the end of the third. We need yards now, and I don't trust myself to throw this thing. But like you said, I can run around or through that guy. So
yep.
All right, great 45.5.
It's a great
Speaking of
segue
Jackson,
into my next pick.
yeah, let's go ahead, dude.
You're very good at organizing things here, fellas. I mentioned home divisional dogs earlier in the show, and what I'm about to give you is a tweak on that. I'm taking the Jaguars in the second half minus the 2.5. So not the full spread. I think it may be up to 4.5, 5.5 on some books. I just want the Jaguars to win the second half by a field goal. In the second half, you really kind of lose some of that home field advantage. It wears off a little bit. Richardson will have already went through his scripted drive. So maybe he comes out in the first 2 drives, looks comfortable. They put some points on the board. I'm going to stay away from that. Jags settle in and make adjustments to how the Colts are playing with Richardson with that with that rush attack. And then the doors get blown off. Jacksonville in the second half in 2022, 5th overall in second half scoring. They average nearly 13 points per game. 2nd overall in second half scoring over the last 3. Finish the season strong. I'm really big on that. Now, if I look at the opponent defensively, Jacksonville 6th overall in second half opponent points per game. They were holding teams to 8.5 points per game. Doug Peterson's damn good at making adjustments, and it's against a rookie QB. So I know the trend is home divisional dogs are 88% against the spread. I'm just taking the second half. Give me Jacksonville minus 2.5 in the second half. It's only minus 105. It's almost a coin flip.
I gave out one of those kind of plays where I gave out a third quarter play yesterday, and I was lucky to push. I gave out over 10 points in Chiefs and Lions, but I get a little scared because, like, what am I going to do if these teams don't come out like I think they're going to come out? Because if you were to ask me, like, during the game of the Chiefs game, would I like my bet? Would I like my chances? I'd probably say no. But I just think that if the Jags if the Jags live up to this hype, they're going to win both quarters by a ton. It's going to be a massive blowout, but divisional dogs.
The reason for the hype around Jacksonville is how strong they finished the season last year. Yes, they won in the wild card round, came back that way. They're in what I think is the weakest division in football. 2 rookie quarterbacks in there. Give me 6 games right off the bat. I'm not as high in Tennessee as some are. And the tough games that they do have Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. They have the Niners. They have these games at home at the very least. So the tough games are at home, and they play in a weak division. I think we're looking at Jacksonville as a 1 or 2 seed in the AFC this year, just because of how weak that division is. And the rest of the teams are going to beat the shit out of each other. The AFC West is going to beat the hell out of each other. The AFC East is going to beat the hell out of each other. Yep. Jacksonville's going to cakewalk, I think, to 11 or 12 wins. And we're going to talk about them with some home field advantage come December and January.
I took Jacksonville to win the division the second the lines opened up. I think I got minus 130. Like, can you imagine a team being minus 130 to win the division when the lines open? That just literally shows you. I think before yesterday, they were minus 155. So that's pretty much like the closing line there. Let's talk about another team who has a good chance of winning the division, a team that you already talked about, Josh. You like their running back. Tell me what you love about J.K. Dobbins.
I gotta go back to the Ravens, man. Like, that's what, like Slop was saying. I'm ready to just bet on a bunch of different dudes on the Ravens, especially when you get some lower ones. I gotta say, I loved J.K. Dobbins at 54.5 rushing yards where I got him. I'm still taking him at 59.5 where it lives today. Over that, it's at minus 114. Like, I'm good with a touchdown. I got him at plus 110. It's probably down to like plus 105, or maybe it's at even money at this point, but I'm good with the touchdown. That's what I was going to talk about with him was like, I know Gus the Bus is back there and he's obviously a bigger dude, but I do think J.K. Dobbins can rattle like a 17, 18-yard touchdown off and not need them to get inside the 10 like that. But either way, the 59.5 yards, I think he'll have plenty of success in between the 20s, and that's where I'm really like banking on him to do a bunch of damage. Like the Lamar stuff I was looking at, all the game scripts still kind of led me to go, all right, well, who is going to run for them if it's not Lamar? Obviously, it's J.K. Dobbins. You look at what he did when he came back last year after 5 games that he played. He missed the first 12, came back, which was annoying because in the preseason, like a beat writer was like, oh, J.K. Dobbins doesn't look that good. Like he's unhealthy. He's like, yo, shut up. And then he missed 12 games. Back and he was good for the last 5. He had 92 yards a game. It was 6.6 carries, yards per carry at that point. And he's good when he's in there, man. He had 7 touchdowns in his last 6 games to end the 2020 season before he got hurt for all of 2021. So I like him to be able to run in any situation. And you're looking at the third down back for the majority of the time. Maybe you get some Justice Hill love in there at times, but like for most of those plays, you're going to see J.K. Dobbins on the field for at least 3 downs on most drives. So
yeah, I actually was going to put J.K. Dobbins to score a touchdown, but a lot of the major books took his touchdown price down. Yeah. Only available like at BetMGM, so I didn't end up taking him. He opened at 56 as his rushing total, which is absolutely insane. I think this is just like one of those situations where. Go ahead.
I was gonna say 5.8 yards per carry for his career. That's not nothing, and he's finally coming off. You know, some of these injuries we talk about being 2-year injuries. He played well sparingly last year. Gets a full camp underneath him. Gets an offense that's going to stretch the field, which really eliminates some of these 8-man boxes. I love this guy. I love Dobbins. I think he's 1 year removed or 2 years removed from a 12 touchdown rookie season. He has a nose for the end zone. So if you don't like Brad, I was going to tell you, if you don't like that plus 105, plus 10 you're seeing on BetMGM for his touchdown odds, throw in the Baltimore Ravens money line. You get that up to like plus 150, plus 170.
That's true. That's true. I didn't even think about doing that. Yeah, I was going to play, and it's like then it was just came down the board, and I want to make us a good parlay that we can actually play, but it wasn't available. I don't have too much to say about that. The Ravens were the Texans were one of the worst teams against the run, and it kind of shows you that Dobbins is going to get the bulk of the carries with Gus Edwards only being at around like 20 or 30 as his rushing total.
Yep.
All right, Slop, go ahead and give us your final play.
All right, this one, kind of the same thing as last time, just going with the old school stuff. All right, so I work for OddsJam, right? So they have just the screen up. I'm looking at the screen right now. Chris Godwin, 52.5 receiving yards, right? That's at FanDuel. Everybody else, 56.5, 56.5. There's a couple of those, whatever you want to call it, DFS sites, 58.5, 57.5. So you're getting, 5 yards right there? If you go 60 plus, it's plus 120. All right, so there you go. There's your bet, 60 plus 120. Here's the thing. The quarterback sucks, all right? There's going to be less throws, whatever. There's all kinds of reasons not to take them, but guess what? The Bucs are going to get their asses kicked Sunday. So they're going to have to throw the ball, and that's just what's going to happen. So when they throw the ball, who's it going to? It's going to Evans, and it's going to Godwin. So there goes the volume concerns right there. Like, I get that there is going to be volume concerns, but probably not this week. It will probably be, later on whenever it's a more competitive game. But this is going to get out of hand. Well, guess what? Do you know who gave up the most receiving yards to wide receivers last season?
I do.
Who?
I was going to say the Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings. Yep. Do you know who gave up the most receiving yards to receivers the year before?
Probably the Minnesota Vikings.
Vikings. Yeah.
So 192 per game. It was like
that's just how they roll.
Really high.
That's what they do. How they roll. Even if they get better, they're not going to get that much better. Godwin is still Chris Godwin. I know he got hurt, but he came back. Like he's fine. He's bad. He's nasty. The idea that it's 60 plus for plus 120 is insane to me. So again, I mean, I hate to throw out a third easy winner in the first half, but that's all I got. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I had something we could sweat a little bit.
Take him. We should at least talk a little bit of trash on Baker, right? And just be like, there's one way this goes awry.
Yeah. I mean, well, Baker's going to be Baker. But the thing is, like, I bet you he has more problems getting it to Evans than Godwin.
Further down the field.
I was going to say
like that. So
Evans is very liable to throw in the towel. He gave him a deadline before week 1 to say, I want my new contract. Or we're not, we're not doing any business the rest of this year. I'll see, trade me at the deadline to the Chiefs. I don't know what that's going to impact as far as his motivation, but Godwin would be a guy, especially in the slot. If I'm Baker Mayfield, loves the middle of that field. Yeah.
That's
give me Godwin and
passes to. Like, that's literally the only guy that Baker can really.
Yeah.
So, like, what are we doing? 60 plus.
The king of plus odds, John Hyslop.
They're not gonna but they're not gonna quit either. Week 1,
no.
So they start getting their asses kicked, like they keep going with the I don't know.
Yeah, we got this. We're gonna get back in this game.
The moral victory drive. You know what I mean? Like you got the whole fourth quarter. I just like it too much.
Yeah,
John, I'll tell you this.
Too. Like that number is gonna move. That's another one that you're not gonna. Like Sunday, it ain't gonna be 60 plus 120. There's no chance.
No,
they'll adjust to the rest of the market, and it'll be, if anything, it'll be like plus 102 or something like that.
Yeah, John, I'll tell you this. I went to Bucks training camp. I recorded every single play, every passing play. Well, every play, but I deleted the running plays. They did not. They only completed one pass over 15 yards, over 10 yards. All of them were going to the short little slot routes. So I think we're going to see a heavy dose of Godwin.
15 receptions for 62 yards. That'll be the stat line that day.
Yeah, it's gonna be so gross. Let's get over before we let John go. I want him to be part of this. Let's do Operation Fade. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the 4 most heavily bet sides by the public, and we're going to pick your favorite of which you want to fade here. Let me pull those up real quick. Okay.
I'm pretty sure the Bears and the Bengals. The Bears and the Bengals should be on that list.
No, actually, no. Not as of 1:47 p.m. The Baltimore Ravens, number 1, receiving 96% of the public bets. Washington Commanders, 82% of the public bets. Dallas Cowboys receiving 82% of the bets. And coming in last, we have the Tennessee Titans at 75%. I can rattle off their opponents. The Ravens are playing the Texans. The Commanders are playing the Cardinals. The Cowboys are playing the Giants. And the Titans are playing the Saints.
Yeah.
Which of those teams would you want to fade? On not on the money line, but the spread.
I'd go Cowboys.
Dallas.
Then the Cowboys, then the Saints, right?
Yeah.
We would be fading, correct? Yeah.
Fading the Titans.
I don't know if I want to fade.
Yeah, see, that I was going to say the same thing, Slop. So my least favorite game to fade there would be the Titans. That's the only one where I agree with the money there.
The other one, though, I would not want to fade is the Washington game. Like, what if they're not that bad?
What are you getting it at? Would you take it at 7.5?
The Cardinals are horrible. Like they their roster up and down. Like you look and you're just like, wow. Like no offense, but they're kind of like the Rams.
Washington's a teaser piece. Washington's a teaser piece all week long.
I'm just saying come on. You cannot be optimistic.
No, you can't. You can't.
I am not, but I don't think we're picking top 3. I think it's 6 to 7 wins.
Okay.
But I'm not optimistic otherwise.
Bobby, I will tell you, you're not optimistic now. You're optimistic now until you guys get midway of the season. There's a contender whose quarterback just went down. You trade Matthew Stafford for a 6th round pick, and then you guys are just absolutely tanking.
I think Stafford's hurt.
Yeah,
I think there's something wrong there. I think they are in a full
They go get Caleb Williams, Drake May.
It's gonna be, but here's the thing: it's gonna be very, very hard to out tank the Cardinals.
It's going to be very hard to out tank the Cardinals
because the Cardinals they're not even gonna have to try to tank it.
Yeah, like you can't. Like,
give me my soapbox for 30 seconds on the Rams. Give me 30 seconds
on the Rams. That's fair.
Okay. Boomer bust. If they stay healthy, if Cooper Kupp comes back, they can get to 10 wins in the weakest conference. But it's probably not going to happen. Realistically, by week 7, they're about 1-5 to 2-4, whatever. They sit Stafford. They start Stetson Bennett. They trade Aaron Donald to the Steelers or the Chiefs and get a 1st-round pick. Then they're moving up for Caleb Williams into the top 3 at the draft. That's reality. But it's not that I want to see it.
Got it in under a minute.
Off pieces left and right by the
I'll be honest with you. It's gonna be bad. It's cool though because we have gambling.
Yeah,
so you can bet every week, and you don't have to worry about your favorite team. Like that's the beauty of gambling. You don't have to go through the hard times. Like I was a Raiders fan, guys, for 30 years, and I wasn't old enough to gamble. It was tough to gamble because it was illegal. Like there was a lot of things, so you just had to endure that. That was hard, man. It was tough. I made it through. It took a special man, I made it, but still.
I love to fade my team, and I call it hedging my happiness. I either win my bet or win my bet or my team wins. But I love fading the Rams. I'm all over Kenneth Walker this week. I think he's going to run all over LA. They don't have any defensive linemen. The linebackers are scarce outside of Ernest Jones, and it's going to get ugly. So if you have Kenneth Walker, he's a 2-tutty guy. He's a 100+ alt line guy. Just throwing that out there. But hedge your happiness, guys.
Time out. This is called Operation Fade, right?
Yeah.
All right, so what are we doing? We're still talking Rams.
Yeah.
You guys
I'm fading the Cowboys. I think
we're all on that.
I'll take the 3.5 with the Giants at home, divisional dog. Cowboys historically start slow in week 1. We don't know what the Cowboys run game is really going to be like either. Like, we just think that Tony Pollard is going to be this 3-down back that runs between the tackles. I think that we're going to see a little bit of an adjustment. Also, we got to remember, Mike McCarthy is now calling the plays there, and he's about as competent as an offensive play caller as I am. So if Brian Daboll gets his team to take that next step, Darren Waller, who actually news just came through that he is now questionable, but
he's on the injury report. I just saw that.
Like, he lived on the injury report. But if everything comes together for the Giants, they don't win. They don't lose this by more than a field goal.
No, here's the thing. It's not even against the Cowboys. It's like, what the Giants are like, good. Like, there's an outside shot. They're just kind of good.
If they don't have Darren Waller, I don't know who that man's throwing to.
I think they might be able to handle it somehow.
I think so, too.
I don't know how, but, like, somehow.
Saquon Barkley's going to have
a lot of weird
catches.
stuff last year.
Yeah.
That's my thing. So I'm a Giants fan.
Like, what are we watching? Like, this is the Giants?
And I just don't want to bank on that happening again. That's my thing.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I wouldn't want to bet it. I'm just saying, like, at least you're fading the Cowboys while you're taking them. So, like, you got like a little more bang for your buck.
I'm just here to not agree with the public on these over 4-point spreads for a
divisional game,
week 1,
especially divisional road game.
Yeah, I'm out on that, dude. I'm out on that. I'm kind of like worried. I'm staying away from the Eagles and the Pats. I was like, I kind of want to bet the Eagles. Then I was like, this is trappy as hell in New England. I just didn't like it, man. So
I said with confidence, I'm only betting the Eagles because I like the Eagles, not because
Breaking news on the Packers, guys, just came in. Christian Watson is out Sunday against the Bears. Matt LaFleur says Romeo Doubs, whatever you want to call him, is questionable. But Christian Watson is out.
Who's catching balls there then?
Dude.
Luke Musgrave, rookie tight end. Let's keep that trend going.
Okay, I'm sorry about your Packers bet, but I'm just going to go ahead and take the other side right now. If the Bears can't win against a team with no wide receivers, then I might as well just quit betting,
I'm still hammering.
Line's down already. They didn't even give me 30 seconds to bet that. Sheesh.
I may get the Packers up to 2.5, and I'm taking it. I'm still taking the money line.
You're still taking
Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon feast.
Fair. That Bears defense is atrocious.
Wow. All right. Well, so I think we're in agreement. We're going to fade the Cowboys. Let's get John out of here. John, thank you so much for joining the show. Make sure you follow him at Slop Rules. Have a good one. Take care, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I'll see you around the streets.
Absolutely.
Peace.
Brother.
I think I'm going to take the man. Okay, so what about rushing? Aaron Jones is going to run the ball 10 million times now, right?
What's his receptions at?
Yeah, that would be they may spread him out wide and put AJ Dillon in the back.
AJ Dillon's at like 1.5 receptions. I'm going to take him, honestly.
Wait, before we go too much further, what did you guys think about Khalil Herbert 50 rushing yards? Like, I liked that.
That's at 50. I almost went under on 54.5, so it makes me feel good that the line was trending downward. I don't know what his split is going to be with Deontay Foreman, and obviously Justin Fields is going to run the ball
a million times. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's done. I looked at his numbers. He looked good sparingly. I'm talking 4.5, 5 yards a clip. Those are good figures for me. But I do like Deontay Foreman. I think he earned the right to get some carries. He has a lineup which says something. He's going to get the ball, and then whatever Justin Fields does. So stay away. What's up?
Is Herbert the starter? Has he been named that?
He is. Yep, he started on the depth chart.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into our touchdown parlay here. I start with my leg. I went Garrett Wilson. Bills allowed third most touchdowns to opposing wide receivers. Until we know what's going on in that backfield of the Jets with Breece Hall, because he's going to be limited. Dalvin Cook. I don't even know, is Dalvin Cook going to suit up this game? I didn't see the final injury report. I don't want to try to forecast what they're going to do in the red zone in terms of running back usage. But one thing I do know is he's going to try to get the ball into the most reliable player, and that is Garrett Wilson. So I took him at plus 160. For anybody who doesn't know, what we're going to do is we're going to put these together. We're going to put $25 on it, and then we are going to give that away if it hits to someone who is following us on Twitter. Obviously, you're going to have to like the tweet and all that jazz, but we will post that once we post the video and post the links to watch our stream. What you got for the parlay, Bobby?
We talked about it a couple times on the show, and even more now than before. Aaron Jones plus 160 at DraftKings before the Watson news, but I would imagine it's still in those plus odds. Guy had 7 touchdowns last season. I think he had 7 touchdowns. No, I'm sorry. He has 9 career touchdowns against the Chicago Bears, double-digit touchdowns in 2 of the last 3. He's going to be a focal point of the offense, whether it's receiving, whether it's, he's probably in for 12 to 14 carries. I do think they're going to want to set up Jordan Love for 3rd and shorts to make him comfortable. Give me Aaron Jones at plus 160. I thought this line should be around plus 115, plus 120. So I don't know if Watson's going to change that. Put me down for Aaron Jones, man.
I like that.
So I kind of just jumped the gun and was like, wait, I forgot we're doing this as a complete parlay, and put in the Juwan Johnson pick.
You can change it if you want, or you can let it ride.
People like it.
Dobbins and the Ravens money line is pretty juicy. That counts for this, by the way.
That was my other. That was who I was choosing between was Dobbins and Juwan Johnson. I already made those plays. Juwan Johnson actually went up. He was at like plus 275. I think he opened for a touchdown. He's at like plus 330. So that I don't know why that would scare me from moving away from it necessarily. Like, I'm fine with that. If we want to make it a little bit more, let's keep this parlay alive and go with a little bit more of a sure bet to add to it, since we got 3 legs in there. I think it's J.K. Dobbins a touchdown. I think it's still plus 105 on pretty much everywhere. So, but I'll look at make sure I'm not lying to you.
Terry McLaurin cleared to play. For anybody who wants some Terry McLaurin action, they'll probably won't release lines right away. I'm going to bet Dotson no matter what. So
yeah.
Brad, what was your guy?
I'm going Dobbins, and now I'm tossing you, right, Brad?
Yep. So you're going Dobbins. I'm putting that in right now. We will. Can anybody build that real quick, or
I can.
Yeah. Let's build this real fast. See what the odds are, and then we'll put the money down, like I said, and we'll give it away if we win. I think it's just gonna be fun,
Yeah.
100%. We could give it away if we win. We could roll it if we. No, I'm kidding.
Could you imagine? Oh, wait, we give the winner the option. That would be crazy if we win. The winner gets the option. They can roll it over to the next week. It's theirs if we win. Could you imagine if we hit back to back? We roll it over because it already pay like $1,000, like $500, $305. Then you put that in. That'd be like $1,500. I mean, $15,000.
Guys, we're on to something here. For anyone on the live stream, if you are listening, we are putting $25 on Aaron Jones, J.K. Dobbins, and who did you have? Was it Garrett Wilson?
I had Garrett Wilson.
And Garrett Wilson, if I had to guess, that's 25. Probably pays around 300 in the 400 range. You will get the option if we choose you. You can roll it, you can pocket it, and you will be a legend either way.
It's okay. We'll build those odds later. Let's go through our best bet recap. I'll start with my 3 plays. My 3 plays are Garrett Wilson over 5.5 receptions, parlay with Seattle money line and Ravens minus 3.5. That is plus money, by the way, guys. And then Anthony Richardson over 45.5 rushing yards. I did add a small Ravens parlay with the Chicago Bears. If I see line movement that gets to like the 4, I'll play the other side too because it's plus money. We'll see how much the line moves with this one receiver. I think he's probably good for like a half a point, maybe a point. But if both get ruled out, Dobbs and Watson, we could see a 2-point line move. Then I'll take the other side as well.
Yes, sir. Going with the Browns. Browns plus 2. I also like them on the money line, but Browns plus 2. Home divisional dog hits 88% of the time in week 1 since 2012. I do like the Packers plus 1.5. You may be able to get that at plus 2 or plus 2.5, depending on what Watson brings. He's probably not worth a whole point, but may get you up to plus 2. I do love the Packers to take down the Chicago Bears. And last, Jacksonville Jaguars second half spread -2.5. I think they blow them out of the water in that second half. Even though it is a home divisional dog, let's get that narrowed down to the second half and give a field goal.
Hell yeah. No, I'm sticking with my Mac Jones love under 227.5 against this Philly defense. I don't even think he gets the opportunity to throw the ball enough to get over with Bill O'Brien's offense, knowing that he's got that smash mouth and Ramondre, one of the top 8-ish backs in the league probably this year. I haven't projected at. So and then that Zeke's been looking good apparently, even between the 20s is what I've been hearing. So whatever. We'll see what it looks like on the field. I think he's still good for like 10 touchdowns this year. So I think the Mac Jones under is helped by the fact that the run game is going to be, featured so heavily. And then the Eagles are just not a freaking team you want to try to throw against, man. They're just so freaking nasty. It's like, how do you have the best offensive and defensive line in the league? When's the last time that happened? It's absurd.
No, that's fair. I just keep going back to that Eagles number. Like, guys, I'm probably gonna bet it. I'm not gonna kid myself. But anyways, listen, everyone who's watching on YouTube, make sure you ring the bell. That gives you a notification when we go live. I know this was our first live show, so as we get going and we get more and more people viewing, we will do a community parlay live on the show once we get the audience built up. If you are listening on podcast form, don't forget to rate and subscribe. For Bobby Stanley Jr. and Josh Lander, I'm Brad Thomas. Thank you for checking us out. Take care.
Later, guys.